Okay, so where do we even begin?
Techspert Weekly!
Okay, so this week, if you're a tech journalist, was a little bit busy. Basically, let me sum it up this way. If you took a shot of tequila for every shiny gadget that was launched in the past 5 days, you'd probably have to have your stomach pumped before we even got through Tuesday afternoon. And yeah, I am 100% speaking from experience here. Of course, like a lot of these weeks, it all started perfectly pleasant. Monday was nice and quiet, not much going on at all. The only thing that really caught my eye was the launch of the One X-Player handheld gaming PC, which is up now on Indiegogo with the early bird pricing of $900. That gets you a Switch-style setup packing an Intel Tiger Lake i7 processor with integrated Iris Xe graphics, plus an 8.4-inch 2560 by 1140 IPS display, dual fans and USB 4.0 support, so you could possibly hook up an external GPU, although that kind of does away with the portability aspect unless you strap that GPU to your head or something. And hopefully I'll get my mitts on one soon to test it out. And that was it, nice and simple. Plenty of time to put your feet up and enjoy a nice spot of Homes Under the Hammer, or prune your geraniums, or just sit on the sofa in your skiddies and have a bit of a cry like usual. And then Tuesday happened. On Tuesday, the lid clearly lifted on Intel's 11th gen portable devices because an absolute ton, that is the official term, of them all launched simultaneously. First up, ASUS decided to give us all a swift kick up the rectum by launching not just a couple of new laptops or even a few, but actually about a bloody dozen of the buggerin' bastard buggers. Gamers, take your pick. You've got the fresh Zephyrus M16, a 16-inch laptop crammed into a 15-inch form factor, boasting a 16x10 QHD, 165Hz display, and NVIDIA RTX 3050 Ti visuals. Otherwise, if 16 inches just isn't quite satisfying enough, just ask your mum, then what about the 17-inch Zephyrus S17 with its funky lift-in keyboard that helps all that pesky hot air to bugger right off out of it? You've got up to Core i9 11th gen Intel Tech, an RTX 3080 mobile GPU, plus your choice of Quad HD, 165Hz or 4K 120Hz display, as well as support for up to 3 SSDs in a RAID 0 setup. And ASUS also unveiled a pair of new Strix gaming laptops with RTX 3050 GPUs and the ROG Flow X13 2-in-1 with the same graphical grunt despite the slender flexible design with ROG Boost and Dynamic Boost power smarts. Then there were more Zephyrus machines and TUF laptops, and if you want more info on these, may I suggest a good bit of Google action. It's good for more than just porn, you know. Anywho, Dell was clearly more than a bit miffed at ASUS's prowess at launching multiple laptops in one mighty spurt, and so decided to have a bit of a crack of it itself. And they spat out no fewer than 11 new notebooks. We got some desktop devices, plus a 4K monitor, a noise-cancelling headset. And that's kind of as far as my notes go before the words just become meaningless gibberish, and then it's just the same words repeated over and over until I think I must have blacked out. So first up, it's no surprise that Dell's popular XPS 15 and 17 have been upgraded to the latest 11th gen Intel Core H series mobile processors, including a fresh OLED option for the 15, while the Precision 5560 and 5760 creative laptops and the Precision 7000 series mobile workstation have also been boosted with that sexy NVIDIA RTX tech. The latter being capable of 8K HDR video editing and running complex 3D simulations. Gamers get the new Alienware M15 R6 and Dell G15 systems, boasting those new NVIDIA GeForce RTX 30 series laptop GPUs, while Dell also teased its upcoming X series gaming laptops, which will be ultra thin thanks to their proprietary thermal tech. And more on that cheeky mofo will be coming in the Alienware Update Twitch stream on June the 1st. So by this point, it was about Tuesday lunchtime, and frankly my brain was already set to short circuit, my fingers were ready to crumble into meaty chunks from typing out endless specs. As for my wrists, well, I mean, they've been knackered for a long bloody time anyway, but yeah. No rest for the wicked though, because HTC picked up just where ASUS and Dell left off with its big ViveCon 2021 Expo, so fingers were bandaged, whiskey was downed, and buttocks were clenched as tight as possible as 2 new Vive VR headsets launched to much whooping and frenzied gnashing of teeth. The Vive Pro 2 was first up, a tethered PC VR headset boasting 5K 120Hz visuals that should all but eliminate that annoying screen door effect, with HTC's usual comfortable, fully adjustable design. So fans of virtual reality smuts, make sure that you are stocked up on hand lotion and Kleenex and barricade the door so your mum can't get in. Oh, and you might need to sell off some of her fine china as well, because the headset will cost you a rather beefy 719 quid. And yes, that's just for the headset, not for the base stations and all the rest of it. And for any business types who might be watching, there's the standalone Vive Focus 3, which is like a posh version of the Oculus Quest 2. But at over $1,000, this one is priced out of the reach of most consumers. And you can see my full roundup of these whizzy VR headsets right here on Techspert. Techspert, that's what this channel's called. So after all of that shenanigans, we are finally up to Wednesday, and my morale was still just about intact, but very soggy indeed, just like my Y-fronts. Until that is, we hit the first of the smartphone launches. Realme was the first to bat with the new Realme 8 5G, which had actually already launched over in India but was now confirmed for the UK. And this costs a little less than the Realme 8 Pro at 249 quid for the 6GB model, but while you've got that 5G support chucked in, you also get some less capable camera tech and a more basic IPS screen, albeit with a faster refresh rate than the OLED Pack-in Pro. I've done a full unboxing and tour of that bad boy, so you can go check that out if you want to know more. And for anyone who's actually still watching this avalanche of shiny bullshit, Wednesday also gifted us the much anticipated ASUS ZenFone 8 and ZenFone 8 Flip. The standard ZenFone 8 is a cute wee 5.9-incher that may not look too pretty, but it certainly delivers when it comes to performance, packing a Snapdragon 888 and up to 16 ruddy gigs of RAM. Plus you've got a gorgeous 120Hz AMOLED screen, albeit one blighted by a selfie cam orifice, and some serious audio smarts in there. Who says that good things don't come in small packages? I certainly don't, because I'm a proper short arse. My full ZenFone 8 unboxing is live right now. If you're tempted, you can grab it for £539 at the early bird price, otherwise it'll be 599 quid when it goes on sale at the end of May. If you want something bigger to grapple with, then the 6.67-inch ZenFone 8 Flip will be more to your liking, with the same nifty rotating camera as previous generations. This adds a telephoto lens to the camera setup as well, although the screen refresh rate drops to 90Hz, and you also lose the standard Zenfone's Gorilla Glass Victus screen coating. However, the Flip model does also add microSD memory card support, something that was missing from the original ZenFone 8, and more importantly, it boosts the battery capacity as well from a measly 4000 mAh all the way up to 5000 mAh. So we're certainly making the most of that bigger frame, and as, spoiler alert, one of the worst things about the standard ZenFone 8 is the fact that the battery life ain't too hot. I'd say that might be a worthy compromise, despite the fact I love the compact form factor of the standard one. And the Flip does also cost a bit more here in the UK. It'll start from 699 quid. So which one are you more tempted by, little or large? I know which one your mum would prefer, and sadly it's the large. Oh well, her loss. So, Mother of God, stumbling our way into Thursday, and ZTE did a global launch thing for its ZenFone 8 rival, the similarly beefy Axon 30 Ultra 5G. You've once again got that Snapdragon 888 chipset with a quad lens camera setup this time, with no less than 3 64 megapixel sensors to play with. And you've also got a peculiar sharp edge design that, you know, f it, I quite like it actually. And if you don't agree, then that's fine. I'm not going to argue with you, because frankly, in a fight, you would probably win, even if you're some 15-year-old sack of skin with gammy vision and asthma. And yeah, some other stuff may have launched since Thursday afternoon, but you know what, f that right off. I've locked myself in the studio, I've taken a mallet to my router, and I'm concentrating on just a single solitary task now, and that is turning all of this lovely booze into wee-wee. But before I do get to pass out face first on the floor, sadly it is once again time for that part of the show that's about as enjoyable as a sudden, unexpected, horrifying bout of explosive diarrhea, followed by the terrifying realization that somebody swapped all your bog roll for sandpaper. It's few. Just roll the f***ing title.
Viewer comments.
So kicking us off this week, Abzu235 says, LMAO, that Mi 11 Ultra segment, you have no shame spurt. Yeah, definitely in a zero f***s given kind of headspace right now. Lockdown has definitely changed me, man. Next up, Roland says, well, Chris, you do of course realise that Japanese anime is widely banned in China, right? I take it you're referring to the Xiaomi stuff. Yeah, this was requested by Xiaomi UK, so the UK arm of it for their UK live stream, so nothing to do with China. But Christ though, imagine a world without anime. Ugh, what a horrible world that would be. Next up, Alex just says, weeb guy. Yeah, I mean, the good thing about viewer comments, and there is only one good thing, is that I now know what a weeb is, because I basically get called it every freaking week. And yeah, guilty as charged. Next up, Ramneek says, sorry, I'm with me, lol. Why would you shove anime characters when that live video will be watched by many demographics who don't even know anime or aren't interested? I mean, that's the whole point, Ramneek, is to educate the masses, to show them the wonders and occasionally the slightly disturbing awesomeness of anime in general. And mark my words, one day I'll bloody start that Anime Spurt channel. I'll try to anyway. I mean, it depends how many more phones Motorola and Xiaomi and all the rest of them decide to launch over the next few years. Maybe they'll bloody go on holiday at some point. Still on the subject of anime, Jacob says, can we have some anime reviews? Yep. Again, if Motorola decides just to stop just for a couple of weeks. And I have that little bit of break time then, yes. And still on the subject of anime, lots of anime comments this week. Why is Steins Gate one of the best animes? From BK201. I just really enjoyed it. Just really thought the characters were hilarious. And you know, I'm a massive sucker for any sci-fi time travel plots. All of that shenanigans, love a bit of it. I'm not saying it's one of the, you know, top tier. I wouldn't stick it up there with the likes of Cowboy Bebop and, you know, Neon Genesis and stuff like that. But I just really enjoyed it. Oh, and of course, it doesn't bloody hurt that Kurisu's in it as well. Next up, Clive says, Chris, you've lost the plot today. Ha ha. I mean, yeah, that kind of suggests that I had the plot to begin with, sir. But yeah, that plot, it buggered right off a long time ago. Next up, Mr. Popular Fun and Knowledge, great name, says, do you use powder around your eyes, smiley face? Powder? No, I'm just actually this pale. Next up, Lucas says, Christ, Sai Mosna na Team Wist, something in Polish, basically. Hang on, I'll Google Translate. Can I issue GIF for this? Yeah, I'm still none the wiser, but yeah, go for it, Lucas. Do what you gotta do, buddy. Next up, Albert says, Sir Spurt, may I say you are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are grey. Yeah, I mean, if you live in England, Albert, then skies are non-stop fucking grey at the moment, aren't they, mate? Not great. Oh, and speaking of which, here we go. DJ Mosmora says, greetings from southeast Spain, 27 degrees here today. Moz, mate, bad Moz. Next up, Fuchsart says, Spurtall, I jumped on my chair reading Zenfone 8, but it was just an announcement. I wish you to live sober, drinking only tea for the rest of your long life. Ouch, mate. That's a sentence worse than death right there. Well, apologies. Hopefully the coverage this week has made amends. As I say, a full review should be going live tomorrow, and hopefully get my hands on the flip to give you full coverage of that too. Duke Guy says, oh ho, Chris called Bradford a town, get ready for the hate. Does this mean I'm going to get glassed when I go for that pint in spoons? I mean, not that I don't usually get glassed in spoons. Rango Django says, if you were a mobile phone, what would you be? Oh, a bit of a surrealistic one. I guess, well, obviously one of the compact ones, because I am a proper short arse, so maybe like an Xperia compact from back in the day. One of the bright and happy, cheery little fellas. In fact, even better, because they're water resistant, so you just stick me in a pint of beer, and I'll just live in there. Bliss. Next up, Lambert says, bit of a tech question. Somebody always has to go and spoil it, don't they? Go on then. What has been your favourite iPhone to use so far? Favourite iPhone of all time? Probably be the, like back in time, the iPhone 3GS, I think it was, which was the first one which wasn't like proper clunky. Actually, they sped up the performance, so it was fairly smooth, and the camera tech was a lot better as well. Although I always forget if it was the 3G or the 3GS, which had like the dodgy antenna where basically you were holding it wrong because you couldn't make a phone call. I'm gonna have to look that up. Apologies. Don't drink booze, kiddies. It wrecks your memory. And it was iPhone 4, apparently. There you go. That's how terrible my memory is. Gripping any phone will result in some attenuation of its antenna performance, with certain places being worse than others, depending on the placement of the antennas, said the company in a statement. In other words, you paid your money, fucking deal with it. Got me going down a rabbit hole of nostalgia right now as well. I still remember back in the day when iPhones were just becoming popular, having to write endless top 10 iPhone app roundups, and Jesus Christ, I mean, they were really scraping the barrel back then as well. Pretty much every single one of them was just something that made a burp noise or a fart noise. And yeah, I understand that's 10 times more entertaining than the shit that I'm churning out every week, but still. I still remember that for a ridiculously long time, one of the top 10 iPhone apps was that one, was it from Heineken or Colin or someone, where it was literally just a picture of a glass of beer, and as you tilted your phone, it looked like you were drinking the beer. It's pretty much still the best that the human race has to offer, to be honest. Another iPhone one as well. Gordy says, which of the 3 top YouTubers are most circling around Tim Cook's ring piece in order, please? I mean, Christ, coming up with just 3 is going to be a pretty tall order. And it's not so much circling as a full-on Vegas buffet scrummage. I mean, just look at, was it last week, the week before? Time is kind of just, it's completely meaningless for me right now. But yeah, they were all spaffing themselves demented over a new purple version of the iPhone that's already been kicking around for 6 months. I mean, if it was a Sony phone or a Samsung phone, it would have been radio silence on it, guaranteed. I'm not really surprised though, because that's exactly how Apple works. That's how they want it to be. If you don't praise your master, then basically you're out the door in the cold with the rest of the muggles. Bloody heck, Nora, Christ almighty, on a bike. We're almost out of time again, so just a couple more quick ones. B Wedges or Wedges says, this channel has grown on me like a fine beard. So, mate. And Luo Zeng says, road to 1 million subscribers, been here since last year. Nice one. Cheers, Luo. Yeah, no, a huge thank you to everyone who stuck around that long. And for everyone new who's just happens to have stumbled upon this nonsense as well, hopefully this absolute shower hasn't put you off a return visit at some point. And a big thanks to everyone who commented last week. Apologies if I didn't get to your comment this week. Time is running incredibly short because everything in the world has launched this week. But yeah, please do smash your comments down below and I will try and pile drive my way through as many of those as possible. Next week, TechSpert Weekly, Friday at noon as always. And I've got, speaking of next week, you've got Google I/O, the big developer conference, kicking off on Tuesday the 18th. So expect a little bit of a trickle of Android 12 news there, bit of a tease. And might see some new hardware as well, potentially a new Pixel smartphone. We should almost certainly see the new Google Pixel Buds A series, which we talked about last week. And I think that's about it for the launches for next week, but there almost certainly will be a couple of extra new bits as well. And I've got a couple of embargoed reviews coming your way as well. Hopefully get that Asus Zenfone Flip in, so plenty of sexy shenanigans. So as always, have yourselves a fantastic bloody weekend, everyone. Thank you for joining me and sticking around this long, you absolute mentalists. Love you all to the bottom of my dark, horrible, rotten little heart.